Senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. So what is your reaction to really this unprecedented interview?
My reaction is he shouldn't have given the interview. The basic rule of thumb for judges, it's for all judges in the country except the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And they write the rules. They apply the rules to everybody. That's the thousands of state judges and the 1,000 federal judges, is that you should not attempt to affect public policy or public thinking by doing something outside the courtroom. A judge can't stand on a soapbox on 3rd Avenue outside our building here and start haranguing. He or she would be disciplined for that unless they were on the Supreme Court. So I was, though I agree with everything he said, as a matter of law, the judiciary is independent. As a matter of law, the job of the judiciary is to restrain the other two branches if they exceed the Constitution or exceed the law. But saying it now is in your face to the President of the United States, most respectfully, Chief Justice, and that is not the role of a member of the Supreme Court.
Now, and of course, it's not also unusual. I mean, you had the Chief Justice, you also had Associate Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson criticize Trump's attacks on judges. I mean, this is really interesting. The Supreme Court should be policing themselves and their branch. Trump is calling out what he thinks is egregious.
Look, the Supreme Court doesn't have an army. It doesn't have an enforcement mechanism, except for its credibility. And when it sounds like politicians, when the members sound like politicians, even my dear friend whose memory I adore, one of the great justices in history, Justice Antonin Scalia, really started this by giving an interview to one of the networks. But when they do that, no matter how credible they are in the interview, they begin to sound like politicians, and that diminishes their credibility as the last word. Justice Robert Jackson, an FDR appointee, famously said, "We're infallible because we're final. We're not final because we're infallible." It's the last court in the land. What they say is so. They must have credibility. They've got to drop the mantra of being politicians.
So while you're saying they should not be doing this, do you think now we start to see more of this? Or is there going to be more fireside chats?
Well, Charlotte, this is the second time the Chief Justice has done it in a month. From his perspective, he's probably troubled about the political attacks on judges. But judges have lifetime tenure. Just close your ears to the political attacks and do your job in the courtroom. I hope we don't see this again, because I know the president, as you guys know. I think he's going to interpret this as, why is John Roberts trying to get in my face? And that's a rational interpretation on the part of the White House.
All right, so I want to shift gears, but also keeping a focus on Washington. They are now getting into the business of Letitia James again. There is apparently a grand jury impaneled in Eastern Virginia. The FBI office in northern New York, I think Albany, is handling these cases. It's starting to get real.
You know, it's very unusual but not unprecedented to have two grand juries. Bob Mueller, we know who that is, famously had two grand juries when he was investigating the president. So that one grand jury gets the dirty work, and the other grand jury hears only the evidence that the government wants them to hear. That's a federal prosecutorial technique. What do I mean by dirty work? One grand jury issues all the subpoenas, the other hears only what the government wants them to hear. I am sure she will be indicted. I think she has some substantial defenses. A lot of this happened beyond the statute of limitations, which is 5 years. A lot of these documents weren't signed by her. But I think she'll be indicted, and there probably will be, not the trial of the century, but a monumental trial over this, either in Buffalo, same place where the Chief Justice was, or in the Eastern District of Virginia, an area you're familiar with, where the government never loses.
Oh, all right. Okay, Judge.
How's that for a Friday morning?
There we go.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.